Number 22, Live and Let Die. The reason why I'm rating this one so low is because the way it treats race in this film is kind of problematic. And this isn't my first take on this. I tried to do it where I was like talking about this thing, and then you get into kind of issues that are kind of, let's just put it this way. Moonraker, that Bond film, stole from Star Wars. This film seems to steal more from, say, blaxploitation films. I don't really know much about that kind of that kind of movement of films. I don't feel sufficient enough to judge it because, well, I'm white, and I wasn't around at the time when these things were popular. I didn't really know how this kind of shows. It's just the way this film comes off now feels like it's one of those times where you look at it and you go like, yeah, they could never make this now, sort of thing. And I kind of have to say that there are some things here that I just think are extremely problematic. I discussed this in my summary of this film, that the main villain is, I think he's like an ambassador to a country that doesn't exist. They had to make up this country, and then that's fine. I actually prefer that rather than, say, using a real country like how Bolivia was used in Quantum of Solace. And they just kind of like, so they show this guy, I think he's like an ambassador or something like that, but he's also a owner of a lot of restaurants known as Mr. Big, and I think he's like wearing like a mask or something this whole time, so he's pulling double duty here. And I think his main goal is to sell heroin at his restaurants. I actually think that is the main goal of this villain. He's not someone like Goldfinger that wants to take over the economy or something like that, or bring it, or like Spectre, who just wants to do bad for the sake of doing bad, because let's face it, that's what Spectre did. He's just kind of like that. There's a figure in this thing called Baron Samedi, and that is something from Voodoo. And in here they show that the people that work for Mr. Big / the main villain are basically, they're part of a giant voodoo cult is what they are, and he uses fear to keep them in line so they tend as poppies. I gotta admit, it's an interesting idea to use a cult leader for a villain. I think that's a great idea, but it just comes across as kind of like, not really certain what they were going with. I mean, it has a mystical angle, but Bond doesn't need that mystical angle, especially with the tarot card reader with Jane Seymour's character, Solitaire. Again, pretty bad name. So yeah, I just have to say this film doesn't really work all that well, and has some good action scenes. J.W. Pepper sucks, okay? I really don't like J.W. Pepper.